want to talk about a topic that a lot of us are going to have to deal with, a lot of people in general are going to have to deal with, and that's arthritis. There is someone on TikTok that I didn't follow, but I'd see a lot of his videos until I realised he was a bit of a douchebag. But then one of his videos came up in my algorithm about how he had gone to the doctor and been told that he has osteoarthritis. And he's like, right, how do we get rid of it? And the doctor's like, well, you don't. So anyway, the point is a lot of us are going to have to deal with arthritis, and a lot of people in general are going to have to deal with arthritis. Now, I've written all of my books by hand, except for the few non-fictions that I ended up typing up, because for some reason non-fiction works differently with me than when it comes to fiction. So I've handwritten for a good couple of decades, and yes, I've got arthritis. I'm 51 years old. I'm a Gen X Australian. Not that that matters in the grand scheme of things, but I found out 11 years ago. Now, actually, I didn't find out 11 years ago. It started 11 years ago in my first knuckle of my forefinger on my left hand. Now, you can see the ditch in it. Just get closer there. You can see how the bone's thickened and gone up compared to that one. And you can't really tell on the angle, but the finger is quite twisted compared to that one. So unfortunately, for those of us who have arthritis, that's what we're going to have to deal with. I'm dealing with it in that knuckle now. That's become quite thick compared to that one. You can kind of see the thickness and the difference. And for a handwriter, that sucks. Thankfully, the pain is generally this finger, not so much this hand, so I'm still okay for now. But it's something that you may have to deal with. Osteoarthritis you can't get rid of. Rheumatoid arthritis you can't get rid of. You can only treat and try and get rid of the pain. I'm on meds for the pain. My dermatologist actually put me on it for the psoriasis in my nails to try and help that. But it also cut the pain down in my knuckles by about 80%. And you can sort of go up and down with that meds. There are even better meds than the one I'm on. So when it kind of gets worse, they will be there if, you know, I need them. Hopefully it will be some time before they all warp, because my little finger's also going that way. You can see the knuckles coming out that way, and it's bending and bowing. Because, again, I'm right-handed, so as you do that, your poor little finger's rubbing against the paper. Now, for those who type up their novels and books and everything else, you're going to be dealing with a lot of other issues as well. A lot of wrist issues, a lot of elbow issues. We all deal with back issues depending on whether we slump or we sit or whether we have an ergonomic chair at our desk. So we all do end up with a lot of issues. I have had a curve in my spine. I was told at 18 I had scoliosis. 18 years later, when I went to the chiropractor, she said no, and she cracked it back. But my back does go out of alignment because of bad posture and a lot of other things. And I'm the carer for my mother, so I'm doing a lot of bending and lifting. So I have to be careful with that. But overall, I've got about a third of my body has arthritis. So my hands, my knees, my feet, some of my back, possibly my shoulder as well. I've had a rotator cuff injury all year, which sucks because I'm right-handed and use my right arm for everything. But arthritis is something a lot of us are going to have to deal with. So whether that means us handwriters then have to turn to typing up our books is something we're all going to have to deal with. For those who type up, you have dictation to go to. We have dictation to go to either from handwriting or from typing. So there are multiple things around. If you're lucky enough to have someone who will type up as you speak to them, then, you know, great. If you have some sort of service that you can speak into a microphone, your phone or whatever recording device, and then send that onto them, and then they type it up, even better, saves you the typing. So, you know, as a writer, we all have to deal with these options at some point, whether we write or type. We all have to figure out whether we're doing dictation, you know, how bad is our hand and our arm or our back going to become, you know, do we have to change chairs and desks, and do we need a better setup? It's all something we have to deal with. You know, there's not much point complaining about it. I mean, I've got it. I have to deal with it. I used to design jewellery. I made most of what I'm wearing. I was doing a jewellery collection when the pain started in this finger. And it was in this finger for 6 months. And then 3 years later, at 43, I finally went and had x-rays because it started twisting. So you know, it's just something we'll have to deal with. Some people say it's hereditary, some say it's not. It's an inflammation of the joints. There's only so much diet and exercise and everything else you can do before the pain just becomes unbearable. There's not really anything with surgery-wise that you can actually do, although I'm quite disgusted by the fact that at 41, I wish I was 41. At 51, this has twisted and buckled, and God knows what it's going to look like at 61 or 71. And I hope I will still have the use of my finger. I don't think I will, and that's going to suck. So arthritis is something we'll have to deal with as writers, whether we write or type, and we'll have to find a different pathway to creating our books and everything else. And dictation is pretty much the end game for all of this, and for all of us who can't use our hands much longer. So if you have arthritis, don't despair. You can still write your books, type your books, dictate your books, and have someone else type it up for you. There are always options if you have arthritis and you're a writer.